afternoon, guys. My name is Vaibhav from Goa cricket team, and recently on 3rd of November, my thumb was fractured while playing for Goa under 23 tournament held in Dehradun. The doctors had told me that I would at least take 2 months to recover from my injury. So I went to Ryan for my injury recovery advice and to get back on field quicker, and he promised me that I would recover within 25 days. He gave me a list of food intake and recovery supplements to follow regularly. I followed his instructions very strictly, and as instructed by him, at the end of 4th week, I took an X-ray and I was shocked to see that my injury was completely healed, and even the doctors were shocked because they had told me to remove my plaster after the end of 6th week. Thank you, Ryan Fernando. You're the best sports nutritionist in India. I love you, man. Viva Goa. This was my injured finger which was fractured and it's completely healed now. Thank you, guys.
Hi, my name is Ryan Fernando. I'm the Chief Nutritionist. You just saw one of my athletes talk about recovering from his thumb injury in 25 days, which we predicted, versus his doctor predicting a 60 days recovery. Now, in an athlete, this is very important. The quicker you recover, the faster you come back, the better is your recovery, the least is the amount of scar tissue formation. This is all possible from my spectrum of rehabilitation, which is the nutrition head, and it's divided into diet and it's divided into supplements. So I want to give you a key preview on what is our logic. And by the way, I'm not going to be giving you specific dosages because this video is not for free advice. This video is to convince physios, orthopedic surgeons, doctors, and people who are helping athletes who have just gotten injured, to guide them in the direction of please get your diet, please get your supplementation done on the way to the hospital whilst you're getting an X-ray done. So let's understand how we can take this forward. The number one protein in your ligament, cartilage and your bone is collagen, and its raw material will come from mostly gelatin. Now, research says that when you enhance gelatin intake or collagen intake, growth and strength can be improved. Now, it can be in the phase of growing children athletes, or it could be in the case of an injured athlete. Again, injury, bone, tissue, ligament, cartilage, all of these can be healed quicker and faster if you give the raw material. So there was a research where they found that the collagen content in the desired place of injury was actually increased when they've supplemented with gelatin. So in my mind as a chief nutritionist, I'm thinking, hey, hang on, collagen or gelatin, that's number one. Second thing, an ancient Indian herb in Ayurveda, the name is called Cissus quadrangulus. And this, in research, has shown to reduce the fracture recovery to 4 weeks instead of 6 weeks. So when I'm looking at Cissus quadrangulus, there's a specific dose. No, I'm not going to give the dose to you because it's based on your body weight, it's based on your gender, it's based on your age. Come to us at Quanutrition and we'll tell you how to use Cissus quadrangulus. For me, purple cabbage, free advice to you, eat a lot of purple cabbage when you get an injury because it contains anthocyanins, and research has shown that it increases the endothelial nitric oxide synthase. Simple English, nitric oxide production, so there's greater vasodilation, greater circulation, so more proliferation is happening at the area of injury. And there's a human vascular cell migration. If you don't understand science and you're a simple kabaddi player, arey baba ye dekho, human vascular matlab the circulation system. So cell migration, new cells have to go at the point of injury and replicate or build bridges or build matrices. So that's very, very important with purple cabbage. Now, in your musculoskeletal system, you have bone. You could get injured in the bone, you could get injured in the ligaments, you could get injured in the cartilage. All of these, okay, if we take, comprise of what I talked about, collagen, but let's have an in-depth view of the bones. Bone normally is around 80%, which is compact, and 20%, which is spongy. Now, you have minerals, you have protein, and you have water in bones. But chiefly, I want to point this out to you. Collagen is a key guy that I'm always looking at. So, if you see over here, 22% is protein, and this remaining 70% is the minerals. So, people forget to add the protein and the minerals. Now, if you look at the minerals, 39% is calcium, and nearly 33% is collagen. You have to make sure that this is dynamically given. And the biggest problem over here is that when athletes get injured, they feel they can do chips and pizzas and ice cream because they're injured and they don't need to follow the diet because they're not in training. This is far from the truth. In fact, during injury time, remember this, you have to save your body from putting on weight. You exercise, you burn calories. When you're injured, you don't exercise. Because you're not exercising, you're going to have the same appetite, eating quantities that you're eating when you are exercising. So weight gain happens. You put more load on the body, you become fatty bumbalati. You're not recovering from your injury faster, and you're putting a greater stress burden on your body when you come back from the healing. So food for thought. By the way, in ligaments and in tendons, the number one criteria of raw material is 95% in tendons and about 90% in ligaments. So we have collagen type 1. So for me, if I remember the first one, I eat collagen or have gelatin, my body breaks it up with some amino acids and then basically produces the tendons for me. So how the collagen will be like kind of wound together, and this makes a sub and then goes and builds your fibers. Point is, get to the raw material when your injury is happening. Now, in injury, you start with the broken part, bleeding, inflammatory. Now, it doesn't have to be external bleeding, but the phase that you want to go through is in inflammatory. This is where most of your damage is beginning to happen and the body starts recovering. Proliferation is when you start adding raw materials and everything, and then the remodeling happens. Now, this whole thing can take anywhere from 8 days to maybe up to 3, 4, 5 months, and it varies from different structures in the human body. What I want to point out to you is that your inflammatory phase is about 6 days. Very important, omega-3, having curcumin based foods which are anti-inflammatory, reduce inflammation down so your proliferation can start faster. If your proliferation starts faster, this is where you give all your raw material so that the tissue remodeling, instead of 60 days, which a doctor will say, oh, it will take about 2 months, let's bring it down to 25 days. So we have been able to bring back athletes faster. And if you see in the inflammation phase, if I can get collagen coming in faster by reducing my inflammation, then I can get to maturation much faster. Lots of technical thing, simple thing. You break something, you need raw material, you need to know which raw material, you need to know how much of that raw material to give into your body and when to give that raw material, such that you rebuild whatever structure is there inside you faster, quicker, better. I've had quite a few people, they haven't talked about it, but let me tell you, worked with Shikhar Dhawan, again he was told 8 weeks to come back, we got him back in the 5th week. Robin Athappa had an injured ankle, helped him a lot on his nutrition and his weight. I've had Sharmila who had, again vitamin D deficiency and an issue with her food. So we had to work very aggressively on her nutrition and help her come back quickly. And a very famous footballer, Robin Singh, massive guy, broke his leg just because of a vitamin D deficiency. So the moment you break, what are the things you can do immediately? So there are 3 parts. 1, eat well so that your body is much stronger. Look at stronger connective tissue, look at stronger bones. There's a gene test you can do which will look from a preventive point of view whether your COL5A1 gene works well or not in terms of absorbing and producing collagen better in your body. If the gene is low, then I as a chief nutritionist will supplement in your diet more quantity of bone broth soup. In fact, if the gene is low and you're a non-vegetarian, I will ask you to take a non-veg powder. The reason being is I want you to protect yourself against injury. The second point, if you get injured, how quickly should you pick up the phone? Well, in my opinion, if you're ever injured, you have to contact us on the way to the X-ray. When you're in the ambulance, very, very important. You get a grade 1 hamstring tear, you contact me on the way to the ambulance. I will tell you, buy this, do this, do this, do this, and you start immediately. Even before you get your MRI done, you're already having that because injury healing is dynamic. And the last and third point, your shelf life an athlete, the third point, your shelf life in an athlete is dependent on reducing injury. The better your nutrition, the longer your shelf life, the lesser the injury. My name is Ryan Fernando. I work on injury rehabilitation programs across the world. A 6-month plan with me on an injured athlete will just probably save your career. So please do get in touch.